So I come home from work after like 11 hours of work. I come home at 9:06 p.m. and I have to make this video. Why? Because I feel like I have to. And my wife, as I made the video last night, said, honey, think about before you hit that publish button and calm yourself and redo the video so you can get your point across. Because I was very just aggravated, okay? I made a video months ago about how YouTube is killing ham radio. And I didn't call anybody specifically out, but I knew who I wanted to direct that to. And here we go again. Here we go again with people that are YouTube Elmers and YouTube teachers for ham radio making videos on stuff that, quote, I don't know what this stuff even means, but it doesn't sound good. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Listen, YouTube videos are surfacing every day now on this FCC proposal, which isn't even in the works yet. It's just a proposal. And I'm going to teach you about this proposal and give you the information nobody on YouTube has given you yet, because the fact of the matter is they're making videos for views. They just want, here's how do I get a bunch of people to watch my video? I'm going to do some fear-mongering. Well, here I am right now giving you the truth and the hard, cold facts. And if you don't like what I'm about to say, stop right now, unsubscribe. Don't click thumbs down or thumbs up. Your thumbs down helps me. It's an interaction to YouTube analytics. Don't leave a comment because that is an engagement. Just unsubscribe and never watch again. If you want to hurt me, that's what you do. Do it. I implore you to do it. The FCC has a proposal. And I'm going to give you this. I'm not going to read this. I'm not going to flash these papers. I'm not going to screenshot or edit it. Okay? 2 to 25 megahertz. The FCC feels like they want to make a business proposition. And this is how the FCC makes money. You're not paying the FCC, so the FCC has to figure out how to make money. How do you do that? You invite these corporations who want to utilize radio spectrum to make money. And if I was the FCC, I'd be totally for it. Now, I want to tell you right now, before you keep going in this video, I approve what this is doing. I approve what is on that bill because it's not affecting us as ham radio operators. Now, as my wife's beef stew gets cold, okay, I'm going to keep going. So here's what they're proposing. 2 to 25 megahertz, okay? That's a lot of ham radio spectrum. Oh my gosh. 2 to 25 megahertz, that's 20 meters, that's my FT8. Oh no, that's my JS8 call. Oh my God, that's my 17 meters. No. Within 2 to 25 megahertz, there's portions of radio spectrum. You don't own it, I don't own it, and it's not ours, okay? We have 14 to 14.350 as an amateur class operator for 20 meters. What happens at 13.6? What happens at 22.675? There's nothing there. But they want to put data shortwave transceivers at 20 kilowatts for stock trading and some other data modes, which, by the way, listen, has been happening for a long time. But because somebody made a video, all of a sudden you've never heard of this? Dude, it's been happening for a while, okay? And this isn't even in effect. It's a proposal that will take years of trial to see, is this what we want to do? But this is how this works. Hey, my name is Eric. I have an idea. I want to propose that we take all these spectrums, quote, before or below and above the amateur radio bands, not to affect amateur radio operators. For the, quote, unused spectrum, we want to put these here, like this, because we feel that because it's unused, we could use that for stock trading. Why? Because radio is the big key, right? Check this out. What do I advocate all the time? When all else fails, ham radio is there, okay? Not ham radio in this situation, HF spectrum. That means high frequency, and that has been on your amateur test, high frequency. So they want to utilize these spaces where nobody is to use it for, as the person quoted in the video, monetary gain. Fine. I implore that. I hope that happens. Because if I was in the FCC and you told me that you wanted to be, well, nobody's using 13.175, sure, take it. Keep watching, because I'm going to tell you what that means. Now, this is a shortwave receiver. And this shortwave receiver, I never made a video on this. I forgot. Let's turn it on. Let's turn it on. How do you turn this on? That shortwave station has been there probably before you were born. That was 9.490 megahertz. And that does not, under any circumstances, bother me and my HF transceivers. Now, when I'm mobile during the day, I have talked across the world on HF. And aside from 7.2 to 7.3, that's plagued as a general class amateur radio operator. I have grown to accept that I cannot talk there because there's shortwave stations. So, besides the fact of where they came from or where it was, propositioned, if somebody had a transmitter for data at 13.8, would that bother you on your FT8? Nope. Why, Eric? What do you mean? It says right there. Hold on. Hold on. Shortwave station. Okay, so spurious emissions may be possible. Now, okay, may be possible because that's what everybody's worried about. Oh my gosh, these shortwave stations are going to wipe us out. Well, actually, to be honest with you, me or none of you people watching, and if you are, send an email to HamRadioConcepts@gmail.com. None of us know what it takes to make a 20 kW transceiver or transmitter to be FCC regulated and approved. This isn't, I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't an ICOM 7300 with an alpha amp. This isn't a Yaesu FTDX 101 with this kind of amplifier. No, you're talking a FCC regulated, licensed, and certified 20 kW shortwave transceiver. Takes a lot of RF engineering. And I can promise you this, the RF engineering that goes into that is not going to affect you or me on the HF bands. Okay? Very simple. Again, I approve. Make shortwave great again. That is what I say. Now, so the reason that they chose these frequencies is because shortwave is on the decline, okay? Now, many of you don't know that I had a shortwave broadcast on WRMI in Okeechobee, 35 miles that way. I was paying monthly to have WRMI broadcast my podcast. Most every one of you did not listen. Why? Because we have internet, we have satellite, we have all this fiber stuff. Wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on. Per the FCC proposal, wait a second. Those shortwave frequencies at WRMI that I had 35 miles from here have not affected my amateur radio communications. They have not. If that was the case before you bought one of these, they're there. Just tune around. Spin a dial. The shortwave is there. Those frequencies that are above and below, they already exist. But all of a sudden, we're going to make a YouTube video and say, oh my gosh, title with a thumbnail. Wait a second. Ready? Is this the Is this the end of amateur radio as we know it? Sign the petition. Save our bands. It's getting ridiculous. Okay. So here's the deal. This has been going on for a while. Okay. We've had shortwave links to Europe. And do you think that these people, which are experimenting and want to trial this, you should be applauding them for trialing this because they chose radio. And what do all of us say? When all else fails, radio is there. That's why we have become an amateur radio operator. Why? Because you want to communicate when nothing else works. That's what they want to do. Do you think they're going to put propagation and all this stuff in the hands of people that are trading stocks? I got news for you. I installed and continue to work on fiber, which is what? Light speed. How fast does RF communications travel? Light speed. But in the FCC, scroll down, which is more efficient than satellite and fiber internet communications. They don't know yet. They haven't even trialed this yet. Okay? So the fact of the matter is, they want a piece of what we do, and I encourage it because it does not bother amateur radio bands. All right? As Brian said, change is very, very unaccepted by a lot of people. A lot of people don't like change. And before I was born, many of you did not want single sideband. Many of you were on 2 meters on AM. And when they said FM was coming, you didn't want it. When they said silly sideband, oh my gosh, we're going to sound like Donald Duck. Who is talking on sideband every day? Me talking to you. So my anger, my frustration, let me calm down. Namaste. The worst thing that you could ever do on a YouTube video is tell someone that's watching you as a newcomer to the hobby that they've wasted their time studying for the ham license, because people are out there that are wanting to give up because they think you have the answer and that you have told them we're going to lose HF. So there's people out there right now that are telling themselves, that's why I shouldn't have been a ham radio operator, because he just said, or she just said, they're taking our bands. What am I going to do? By the time I get my general, it's too late. You see how much damage? You see how much damage YouTube can do to ham radio? That's why I made that video. YouTube is killing ham radio. It wasn't directed to many people, but a select few. And, you know, honestly, this is what this means. Use it or lose it. Now, why are these companies and the FCC wanting to take those little spectrums like this? 22.650, 13.925.4. Why do they want these? Because nobody's using them. Nobody, until this video right here, you watched it here first, nobody has said anything about use it or lose it. It happened with 220 megahertz. Years ago, the FCC and companies saw 220, okay, was like, whoa, dude, nobody uses this. 220. So this is, listen, this is exactly what happened. 220, well, I tell you what, let's give those little ham guys this. And we're going to take the rest of this. Why? Because nobody uses that. So we could use this for digital data signaling. We can use this for maritime. 220, it's a quiet band, it's a clean band. Let's take this. You give your little hams this. You give your hams that. And we're going to take this because what do you care? No one's using it. And here I am rolling around on 146.52 and calling CQ daily on UHF simplex because nobody's there. What happens if nobody's there? The same channel repack that happened with over-the-air HDTV the last year and a half. They said on the news, and this is what you didn't know. They said on the news, scan your channels, go to your TV and hit scan because your frequencies may have changed. Why? Because the FCC said, well, here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to take your transmitters, hire your tower climbers to go up and remodify your antennas, get your engineers to come over and tune those amplifiers, and you're going to put your channels here. And you are going to put your channels here because we're going to take this for 5G. And how did that benefit me? I get 5G. So my cell phone has a better data rate in that little 600 to 800 megahertz band there, right? Below ham radio, okay? And that was allocated here, and they wanted this, and the TV had to move this way and this way. And what did that do for me? I benefited. Have I ever been impacted by that repack? No. Will I ever be impacted by what's being proposed to the FCC? No. Well, wait a second, Eric. They want to take a... Okay, let's do this. How about one of your test questions, bud? What is the ITU? Yeah, the International Telecommunications Union. You can't, the FCC cannot just take something and do something with it because it affects other countries in the world. There's a union. And they, you know what? Let the FCC propose that to the union. Let the FCC say, hey, we want to take 14 to 14.300 and we think this would be great to stream international data porn and nobody's using that. Do you think that the other countries in this union would deal with that? No. So we're going to end this video this because I've already eliminated what my wife told me, and I said I'll be calm, but listen guys, you gotta listen and watch what you're watching on YouTube. If it's about views, they got it. Because you watched it, you shared it, they asked you to watch and share this video. But I will not sign that petition. It doesn't affect us. I don't care about it. I hope that they use radio for stock trading and cryptocurrency because I do cryptocurrency mining with my mining machines that I make. And I've already dabbled into crypto trading over RF. Does it affect my ham radio? Sure doesn't. And if you think that ham radio is over, the end of the ham radio as we know it, well, if that's the case, there's no sense ending this video like that. I'll just cancel it right now. We don't need to have an ending.